This concept of storing elements as a collection is present in another programming languages also, like C, C++, Java, JavaScript, whatever the language you take. You have a data structure to store elements in this way. In another languages, we call this as array, but in Python we are calling it as list, List. Okay, so the main difference between another programming languages array and Python list is another programming language array allows only homogeneous elements. Homogeneous elements, that means a collection of similar data types. But coming to Python, it takes collection of heterogeneous data items. It can be numbers, or it can be strings, or it can be real numbers, or it can be a list inside another list. It can be a tuple inside a list. It can be dictionary inside a list. In that way, you can put lot of elements inside list. So the thing is, list is created with the pair of square brackets and it allows a set of heterogeneous elements. Okay, so shall we start creating a list?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, a list is created with a pair of square brackets, I said, and whatever is created will be assigned to a variable name identifier. You can give any name here. I am just giving it as L1, L. So I'm L1. So now we are creating a list 3, 4, 5. I put all integers. I have created a list. So how to check the data type of data type of anything? How to check?
Type of L1.
Type of
Type of L1.
With the help of type function. Type function. I am using the word function. So it is saying that it belongs to a class called list. It is a list. Okay. So now we'll see how to use this list to find the number of elements in a list.
Length of L1.
As usual, how we have used the function len with strings, we can use it with list also. Okay.
Yes.
So it will return 3. Okay. So a list
Max of L1.
once created, it is not it is a fixed list. You can remove an element from a list, or you can add new elements to a list. We'll see how to add a new element to a list. Okay. So to add an element, now we are learning few methods. Now we are learning few methods which are part of list. I'll show few methods here, few functions here, and few operations here, and then we'll go to the slides. Okay. So to add a new element, we use a method called append. A-P-P-E-N-D. Append is the word which is always used to add something at the end of a list. Okay, now I am giving 78 as it adds at the end of the list. So it will be added after 5. Check out L1. So this is your new list. Now the size of the list is 4. That means you are able to make it big. Your list is growable. Your list is growable. Okay. So if I want to append one more, I said list is heterogeneous, no? Now I will give a real number. Okay. So we'll add one more. This time a string. My hometown. Okay. See this. So now if you observe the length of L1, it is 6. Your list has 6 elements right now. Okay. And as with strings, list also follows indexing and slicing. You have seen, no, in this in Python strings you have indexing and slicing. That means if this is the string, your index starts from 0, 1, 2, like that. In the same way, if you have a list like this, the first element will have index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that way. That means your list is stored in an ordered way. In what order you are storing, in what order you are creating the list, in that way it will be stored. Suppose if you put another one, the same order will be there, and as at the sixth location another element will be added in this way. Okay, so this is positive indexing. Same like strings, negative indexing is also available. -1 refers to the last element and it comes right like this, -2, -3 in the same way. Suppose if I want this element, then I have to ask like this, element at second index in the particular list. Okay, if I want this slice, this part, if I want slice, I am saying, not a single element, then I have to use the slicing operator like how we have done in strings. I do not want to repeat. The same rules follow here. So from first to, I want up to this, so I have to give this index. Okay, hope you remember from strings. Do you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So the same thing is applied here also, like strings. There is no need to repeat. So indexing and slicing is same like strings. L of 0. Why it is scolding?
L1 of 0. L is not there.
Yeah, name error. అది చెప్తున్న ఎర్రర్ పేర్లు నేర్చుకోవాలి. వీఆర్ వాచింగ్ టైప్ ఎర్రర్, ఇండెక్స్ ఎర్రర్, నేమ్ ఎర్రర్, వాల్యూ ఎర్రర్. వేర్ విల్ గెట్ వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ఎర్రర్? సింటాక్స్ ఎర్రర్. So L1 of 0. So the very first element is 3, no? That's the reason it has given 3. Suppose if you want last element, then what you have to give?
-1.
Yeah. What is length of L1?
6.
See, without using -1, I want to print the last one. Can you give me some suggestion?
L of 5.
L1 of 6.
L of 5.
I don't know how many elements are there.
5.
నాకు ఎన్ని ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయో తెలీదు, కానీ నాకు లాస్ట్ ఎలిమెంట్ ప్రింట్ చేయాలి. -1 యూజ్
L1
చేయక.
of len function of -1.
లెంగ్త్ ఆఫ్ L1 అని అడుగుతాను, ఏమంటుంది?
-1. -1.
-1.
నో, జస్ట్ గెస్ వాట్స్ ద అవుట్పుట్. తిడుతుందా? సో వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ స్కోల్డింగ్ ఇట్ హ్యాస్ గివెన్? ఇండెక్స్ ఎర్రర్. ఐ డోంట్ నో ద ఇండెక్స్ 6. ఓకే,
Out of the range.
out of range, because we have range
-1.
up to 5 kada, so -1. When you see these kind of things in your code, don't get scared. Okay, they are when you do not know the length of the string and -1s are not allowed in some of the parts of your code, then this is the way to get the last element. Okay,
Okay.
you know everything here.
Okay,
This entire thing is index. This entire thing is index. Index is an expression here. In this expression, one function is there and -1, like that. Okay, so indexing and slicing are same annan kada. We'll see the slicing too. Do you remember 2 colon తర్వాత ఇవ్వకపోతే ఏమవుతుంది?
లాస్ట్ దగ్గర వెళ్తుంది.
Last.
So it will return from the second element to the last
Last
element.
element.
Yes, ma'am.
So first element to the third element. Fourth is not included. L1 of 0, L1 of 1, L1 of 2, L1 of 3. Okay, so L1 of colon, if I do not give start and end, then it will give
Starting and
all.
end.
Whole list.
All.
Yeah, if I give both, then second element, third element and fourth element.
2, 3,
This is
4.
single element and 3.4. Okay, so is this clear?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
indexing and slicing is same, and concatenation and repetition is also same like strings. You have this L1 plus acts as concatenation when it comes to a group of elements like strings, list and all. Here I am adding one more list called 9, 3 is list constant. See the new list. After Bhimavaram, 9 and 3 were added. Are you able to see?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
The 9 and 3 are concatenated at the end of the list. But if you observe that L1, that is unchanged. Okay, if you want to make it change, what should you do?
Append.
Okay, append adds only one element. As there is no assignment operator, for that reason the change
Equal.
is not affected. Okay, and this L1 star 3. This also works here. It works as a repetition operator. Okay. It is repeating the list for 3 times. So star and plus are acting differently on strings and lists. One is concatenation and the other one is repetition. Okay. So when this is L1, the same membership operators can be used here. Is element 4 present in L1? Okay. Is 4 present in L1? 44 in L1?
False.
False.
Okay. The same membership operator works here also. Is this clear? And I can put one more list inside another list. See the L1 now. First element, the last element. This is the last element. Okay, it's a single element. The last element is a list. You will observe when I see the last element, -1. See this. The last element is again a list. If you observe the type of the last element, it is a list. If you see the type of the first element, what is first element? 3.
Integer.
It is an integer. If you observe the type of this element, then it will give a string.
String.
Okay. So L1 of -1 is giving a list. If I want to take only this 4, ఏం చేయాలి? ఈ లిస్ట్లో ఫస్ట్ ఎలిమెంట్ కాబట్టి after this I have to put a 0, then I can access the 4. This is the way to access elements which are nested inside one another. Are you able to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
How can I get 5?
L1
Minus
L
1.
minus 1.
Yeah. So this is somewhat how to use concatenation and repetition and membership and nesting one list inside another list. Okay, how to index and how to slice. Now we learn the methods. We learned only one method, that is L1 dot append. Append adds a single element at the end of a list. Append adds a single element at the end of a list. We'll see one more. Okay, so this is our L1. I want to count how many times the element 3 exists. For that reason we have a method called count.
Count function.
3.
ఓకే సి డాట్ తర్వాత నేను ఏం రాసినా నేను మెథడ్ అని కాల్ చేస్తున్నాను అన్న మీకు క్లాసెస్ అవి వచ్చేసరికి అర్థమవుతుంది క్లాసెస్ కాన్సెప్ట్ బట్ వెన్ ఐఎమ్ కాలింగ్ ఇట్ యాజ్ ఎ మెథడ్ అండ్ వెన్ ఐఎమ్ కాలింగ్ ఇట్ యాజ్ ఎ ఫంక్షన్ ప్లీజ్ రిమెంబర్ దట్ ఇఫ్ ఐఎమ్ రైటింగ్ సమ్ కాల్ ఆఫ్టర్ ఎ డాట్ ఐఎమ్ కాలింగ్ ఇట్ యాజ్ ఎ మెథడ్ రిమెంబర్ దాట్ ఫర్ నౌ ఓకే if I am writing something which is not having a dot before it, then I am calling it as a function. len is a function. Okay, so count of 3 is a method which returns how many times the element 3 exists in the list. So L1 of count of 44, what you are expecting?
0.
0.
Yeah, so you know about the count method now. Okay,
Yes.
so we know how to add an element. How to add an element?
Append.
Append function.
But what's the fault of this?
Only one element.
Only one element can be added
Okay,
at once.
what are the faults of it?
We can't add
We
two of
can't add in the middle of the
Yeah,
list
that's
or
right.
starting of the list.
We can add only one element and it adds the element at the end of the list,
At the last of the
not at a particular position where if we want to add at beginning or after second location or after third location, that we can't do with append. That's the fault of append. Okay, so these two faults, only single element add చేయగలుగుతున్నాము, end లో add చేయగలుగుతున్నాము. These two faults can be recovered with the help of methods. We'll see them. Okay, so there is a method called L1 dot insert. Okay, so with insert you can give two arguments. Now see the change and tell me what this insert does. Okay. So this L1, this insert has added an element 3 at second location. Are you able to see that?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
నేను మళ్ళీ ఇంకొకటి రాస్తాను. L1 dot insert. I'm again writing second location. Now the number is 300.
300 is added at the second position.
Yeah. If I want to add 900 at the first location, how should I write that?
1 comma
1 comma
900.
900. It's
0 comma 900. 0
Hey.
comma 900.
1 ఆ 0 ఆ?
ఫస్ట్ పొజిషన్ అన్నారు కదా మ్యామ్ 1.
0.
You should inject it in your blood. That array indexing
0.
starts from 0. Okay.
0.
So if you want
0,
to
ma'am.
add at the beginning, it should be 0. Okay.
0 comma 900.
Yeah. Now it is something else. So now it has added at the. Okay.
Starting.
Beginning.
Yes.
Okay.
Someone asked you a question in interview. I want to add some string just before the end of the list. ఎండింగ్లో 89 ఉంది కదా, 89 ముందు యాడ్ చేయాలి అని ఎవరో మీకు టాస్క్ ఇచ్చారు. ఎలా రాస్తారు?
L1 insert
List of
length of
minus
Of L1 minus 2.
Length of L1 minus 2.
minus 1 కాబట్టి.
Length of L1 minus 2.
Length of L1
length of L1
L1
minus 1
minus
minus
2.
2.
Yeah.
2 comma
What you want to
zero
add?
function.
We'll add Python. Okay. Oh, what is this? Why? Can anybody tell? Here you are giving the index you are interested in. Here they want to add here and they put 89 next to it. Kada? So
ఏ క్లాస్ మధ్యలో ఉంది.
ఓయ్ ఎవరది?
-1.
Yeah. Here you have to give the index you are interested in. Okay. No worries. మనం ఫస్ట్లోనే కరెక్ట్ ఆన్సర్ చెప్పలేకపోతే ఇట్స్ నాట్ ఎ బిగ్ డీల్, బట్ యూ హ్యావ్ ట్రైడ్, దట్స్ గుడ్. నవ్ ఇట్ విల్ వర్క్. ఓకే. సో దేర్ విల్ బి many of these kind of questions people will ask us to test us. Okay. లిస్ట్ పెద్దది అయిపోయింది కదా. ఐఎమ్ క్రియేటింగ్ వన్ మోర్ లిస్ట్ విత్ ద సేమ్ నేమ్. Now this time all integers to make my job simple. Okay. So append we have seen two faults. What are they?
Only one can be
Middle లో
added.
యాడ్ అవ్వదు, ఓన్లీ
And
ఒకటి యాడ్ అవుతుంది.
we can't add in the middle of the list.
మిడిల్ ఆఫ్ ద లిస్ట్లో ఎలా యాడ్ చేయాలో ఇన్సర్ట్ మెథడ్తో నేర్చుకుందాం. ఓకే. నౌ హౌ టు కమ్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ద ప్రాబ్లమ్ యాడింగ్ మోర్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఎలిమెంట్స్. ఓకే. Suppose I have a list called L2 in which 3 elements are there. I want to add this 3 and 4. I want to add this 3 and 4 to my L1. Then
L1
I can
equal to L1 plus L2.
L1 dot append of
L1 dot append of L2 అని అందాం అనుకో,
L2.
ఏమవుతుంది? L1
అది లోపల
Ah,
వచ్చేస్తుంది.
add one.
it will be added as a single
List add
element.
అవుతుంది.
One operation is L1 plus L2. దీన్ని L1 కి అసైన్ చేయడం. This is 1. But there is a method called extend. So this is your L1 now. This is your L2 now. So if I write L1 dot extend and give L2,
L2.
your L1 will be extended by adding all the elements of L2 at the end. Have you got the change?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So there is a big difference between append and extend. Append adds a single element. If it is a list, that list is also added as a single element at the end. Extend takes a list and every element of the list will be added at the end of the list as separate element. Is it clear?
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Someone is asking
మోర్
something.
నెంబర్స్ యాడ్ చేయాలి, అది కూడా మధ్యలో యాడ్ చేయాలి. అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాం?
For that there is no method. We have to write programs. Okay.
Okay.
So for all this also we have to write programs, but Python's library is providing all these methods to make our job clear. Okay. ఇవి ఇలా ఇలా ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవ్వడానికి కూడా వాళ్ళు ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ రాశారు. ఇవి ఎలా రాసుంటారు, దీని ఫర్ లూప్ ఎలా రాసుంటారు అని మనం ఆలోచించగలిగితే ఇంకా బాగుంటుంది. బట్ ఆలోచిద్దాం. వన్ మోర్ డే ఆన్ లిస్ట్ ఈస్ దేర్ కదా. ఓకే, నౌ we know how to create a list, how to insert an element into a list, how to append and extend. But sometimes we have to remove also kada. So there is a method called pop. So which element is removed? We popped, and which element is removed? Can you see and tell me in your words? The last element. If I pop, the last element is removed.
Last element మళ్ళీ remove.
Yeah. So now my list is this one. If I pop again, which will be removed? Which one will be removed?
List
Square
of
bracket
comma
of 3,
four.
comma 4.
list
Yeah.
3, 4.
So pop is a method which removes the last element of the list. Okay. So answer my question. There is a question. My list contains 7 elements. Continuously I have run 3 pop methods. What is the size of the list now?
4.
4. Good. Yeah. So pop is a method which removes the last element in the list. What if I want to remove an element present in a particular index? Then you have to specify an argument in this way. Pop of 3. It removes an element at the third location. What is there at the third location?
7.
Index 0,
Seven.
index 1, index 2, index 3. So if I see
Seven.
this L1, the 7 is missing. Okay. So pop can be used without an argument and with an argument. If there is no argument, last element will be removed. If there is an argument, the particular index will be removed. Okay. Now my valid indices are 0 to 4 only. Now I want to remove 8th element in my list. Okay. 8th element in my list.
Type error.
Index error.
Index error. Excellent. Because that particular index does not exist. The valid indices are 0 to 4, no? So 8 is not the valid index. For that reason you got an error. Okay. So have you understood
More
the
than one remove చేయాలంటే మ్యామ్?
more than one remove చేయాలంటే you have to run a loop for popping. Okay. There is
Okay.
one more method called remove. Okay. Now your L1 is this. You can use L1 dot remove method with the element. Suppose if I want to remove 99, index కాదండి, element ఇస్తున్నాం. So it successfully removes the 99.
Element.
Yeah. If this particular element, pop కి index ఇచ్చాము, remove method కి ఏమి ఇచ్చాం? Value of the
Value.
మేడం లిస్ట్ లో 2 సేమ్ ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఉంటాయి.
ఫస్ట్ ఎలిమెంట్ రిమూవ్ అవుతుంది అన్న. ఫస్ట్ అకరెన్స్ రిమూవ్ అవుతుంది. నౌ చెక్అవుట్ దిస్.
సెకండ్ రిమూవ్ అవ్వాలని కండిషన్ ఇస్తే మ్యామ్?
ఆ సెకండ్ రిమూవ్ చేయ,
రిమూవ్ అవ్వాలి.
అప్పుడు యూ హ్యావ్ టు యూజ్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ హియర్ విత్ ద రిమూవ్.
Pop.
అదర్వైజ్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు కమ్ అప్ విత్ అవర్ ఓన్ లాజిక్ త్రూ కోడింగ్. ఓకే.
పాప వాడితే అయిపోద్ది కదా.
పాప్ వాడితే అంటలేదన్న. 2, 3, 6, 99, 99, 7 అని ఉందనుకో, సెకండ్ 99 రిమూవ్ అవ్వాలని అడుగుతున్నాడు. ఈజ్ ఇట్ సుజన్?
అప్పుడు ఇండెక్స్ వాడచ్చు మ్యామ్.
ఆ ఇండెక్స్ ఎక్కడుందో చూసి ఆ ఇండెక్స్లో రిమూవ్ పెట్టాలి. ఓకే. సో చెక్అవుట్ దిస్ L1 డాట్ రిమూవ్ ఆఫ్ 899.
నథింగ్ ఇస్ చేంజ్ మ్యామ్.
సో ఇట్ ఈస్ గివింగ్ ఎ వాల్యూ ఎర్రర్.
వాల్యూ error.
పాప్ కి ఇండెక్స్ ఇస్ ద ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ కాబట్టి ఇండెక్స్ ఎర్రర్ వచ్చింది. రిమూవ్ కి వాల్యూ ఇస్ ద ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ కాబట్టి దట్ పర్టికులర్ వాల్యూ డస్ నాట్ ఎగ్జిస్ట్ అని చెప్పి వాల్యూ ఎర్రర్ హ్యాస్ కమ్. ఓకే. సో వీ హ్యావ్ సీన్ ఫ్యూ మెథడ్స్ ఆఫ్ లిస్ట్ సో ఫార్. వాట్ ఆర్ దే?
Append.
Append,
And remove.
Pop, extend, remove.
append, count, extend, remove, pop. Okay. So
Insert.
yeah, insert method.
Insert.
We have seen nearly 5 to 6 methods. Okay. Now I'll ask a question from the last class. Are strings mutable or immutable?
Immutable.
Immutable.
Immutable, ma'am.
Yeah, lists are mutable. Lists are mutable.
Immutable.
That means I can change the value of a list. Suppose at the first location I want to put 200, okay, then I can simply do this.
Zero.
It is not scolding me because lists are mutable.
Immutable.
Lists are mutable. Okay, I can remove an element in my list with the help of del keyword. It's not scolding me like earlier what I did it for strings. Kada? So, understood strings mutability?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll see slides for some time. And we'll come back to the execution. Okay. So Python lists are ordered sequence of items. You understood that they are a sequence of items 1, 2, 3. When we call sequence in Python means if we can access them with the help of an index, then we call it as a sequence. String is a sequence of characters because every string element can be accessed with the help of an index. ఏ డేటా స్ట్రక్చర్లో అయినా మీరు ఇండెక్స్ యూజ్ చేసి యాక్సెస్ చేయగలిగితే దెన్ వీ కాల్ దట్ డేటా స్ట్రక్చర్ యాజ్ ఏ సీక్వెన్స్. Okay, ordered. Okay, I have created a list like this 1, 2, 3 and I am adding one more element, so that order is maintained. If I add an element here and print it again, it will print 1, 2, 30, 3, 4, 5. Wherever I am inserting, whatever order I want to insert, that order is preserved. క్రియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఒకలాగా ప్రింట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఒకలాగా రాదు. క్రియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు మీరు ఎక్కడ ఇన్సర్ట్ చేస్తే అక్కడే ఉంటాయన్నమాట. దట్ ఆర్డర్ విల్ బి ప్రిజర్వ్డ్. ఇన్ విచ్ ఆర్డర్ యూ వాంట్ యువర్ లిస్ట్ టు బీ, దట్ ఆర్డర్ విల్ బి ప్రిజర్వ్డ్. ఓకే, సో lists are ordered, lists are sequences. These two are important అండి. Okay, lot of confusion will happen if you do not understand about all the data structures. Lists are ordered, lists are sequences. Okay, so sequence means a set of n numbers might be ordered in this way: 0th element, first element, second element, up to the last -1 element, and every element in the list will be accessed with the help of a subscript like this: L1 of 2, L1 of 3, L1 of 4. In that way, with the help of subscripts we are accessing that. Okay, these kind of lists are present in almost all the programming languages. In other programming languages we generally refer it as array. Okay, in other programming languages the arrays are fixed size, but in Python the arrays are not fixed. If I create a list with 3 elements, I can increase the size of the list by appending new elements at the list, or I can remove few elements. That means size of the list is not fixed, it is dynamic. Okay, and in other languages the array elements are homogeneous, but in Python it is heterogeneous. It is about Python, it is about other languages. Okay, ఎగ్జామ్కి బై హార్ట్ చేసే బ్యాచ్ ఉన్నప్పుడు కొంచెం చూసుకోండి అమ్మా, డోంట్ గెట్ కన్ఫ్యూజెస్. సో ఇన్ పైథాన్ లిస్ట్స్ ఆర్ డైనామిక్. వై ఐ am using the word dynamic? The size of the list is not fixed.
Because they are mutable.
Yeah, these are mutable. Okay, dynamic means
Changing.
you can create a list with 3 elements. Later you can change the size of it to 6 elements or 10 elements, or you can remove some elements and reduce the size of this list to 2, or you can remove all the elements in this and clear it and you can make an empty list. That means size of the list is growable and shrinkable. Your list can grow and shrink based on the demand. For that reason they are called dynamic. Okay, in other languages once created, you cannot change the size of the list. Okay, but here the Python list is dynamic because you can it can grow or it can shrink. Okay, so this is very important point to remember. Second important point to remember is they are heterogeneous. That means it can hold different data types. The technical word is arbitrary data types, not similar data type, arbitrary, varying data types. Okay. And Python lists are mutable. Have you seen the mutability of the lists?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So from this slide, from the past two slides, two things you need to remember. Python lists are ordered sequences of items. Python lists are ordered sequences of items. Python lists are dynamic. Python lists are heterogeneous. Python lists are mutable. Take a minute and remember these four words. Python lists are ordered sequences of items. They are dynamic. They are heterogeneous. They are mutable. Can I go forward?
మేడం
ఈ త్రీ ప్రాపర్టీస్
ma'am.
మీకు అర్థమైనాయి కదా?
Yes, ma'am.
అర్థమైంది మేడం.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So a list is a sequence of items stored as a single object. Why they are saying it as single object? Sequences of 3 items stored with a single name called L. Okay. Items in a list can be accessed with the help of indexing, and sublist, if I want only this part, they can be accessed with the help of slicing. We know how to do indexing and we know how to do slicing. Do we? So lists are mutable.
Yes, ma'am.
Individual
Yes, ma'am.
items of the entire slices can be replaced through assignment statements. Lists support number of conveniently used methods. We have seen only few methods: append, extend, pop, remove. Lists will grow and shrink as needed. That's why they are called as dynamic. Okay, so these are theory about the list, and whatever I have shown you by execution, these are the snapshot of that. Last 2 years back చెప్పిన మీ సూపర్ సీనియర్స్కి చెప్పినప్పుడుదండి. So maybe some other example is there, no problem, but the same functionality. Okay, now this slide I haven't covered. Python can use for and in. These two keywords can be useful with lists. We'll understand how they are useful. Okay. It's 12:42, but we didn't do much. So the first line you are aware of, you are creating a list with the help of square brackets, numbers is equal to 3, 6, 8, 2, 9, 17, 11, 27 in that. Okay, and here you are using a for loop. The syntax of for loop is, if you remember from the past classes, for value in sequence. Syntax gurtunda for loop di? For value
Yes, ma'am.
in sequence. Is list a sequence?
Yes, ma'am.
List and strings are sequences. So you can put a string here, you can put a list here, or a sequence of numbers like range. So as my list is a sequence, I put my list as it is here, and I am trying to print x. So in the first iteration, my x will hold 3. In the second iteration, x will hold 6. In the last iteration, x will hold the last item of the list, that is 27. In that way, it will print the value. Okay. There is no need of increment operator and all. So it has printed all the elements of my list. Are you able to see the outcome?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we'll make a small change in this. I want to print only the even numbers in this list. What should I do?
Border division 2.
Numbers percentile 2.
X
You-
Number
percent
percent
equal to 0.
You
Print
know,
Madam, if
yeah, you know that every element will go and sit in your x from beginning to ending కదా. ప్రతి నెంబరు వెళ్ళి ఎక్స్లో కూర్చుంటుంది అని మీకు తెలుసు. సో వెన్ ఎవర్ ఏ నెంబర్ సిట్స్ ఇన్ ఎక్స్, ఫైండ్ అవుట్ వెదర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఈవెన్ ఆర్ నాట్. సో ఇఫ్ దిస్ బికమ్స్ ట్రూ, then
It prints X.
Okay, if this is not true, we are simply discarding it. It is a simple if statement. Okay. Saira. Just to keep note of that if our loop is completed, we have put it. See, it has printed only the even numbers. Okay. Now I want to change this program a little. Someone asked you to count the number of odd numbers in this. Can you do that?
Yes,
ఒక
ma'am.
లెంగ్త్ వేరియబుల్
Not
తీసుకుంటాం
equal to
మేడం.
0.
Yeah.
Sum equal to
I
0
equal
తీసుకుంటే
Discount.
Yeah. I need some variable to store the answer.
yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Sum equal to 0. Yes, ma'am.
Some meaningful name ఏదైనా పెట్టుకోవచ్చు. I want to count the odd numbers, no. For that reason odd count is equal to 0 అంటున్నాను.
x mod
Equal to
equal to 1,
equal to 0.
odd count plus equal to 1.
Yeah. So after completion of this for loop,
Odd count plus equal to 1.
after completion of this for loop, where is my answer?
Print odd count.
Odd count
Odd count.
is equal to
Odd
odd
Equal to
count.
comma odd count.
Okay.
odd count.
So there are 5 odd numbers. Okay. Odd count and even count. If you want to do both, then what you have to do?
After the if loop, give even count plus equal to 1.
Do not say if loop. Vamsi.
Even is equal.
If
Else.
if statement,
Else.
for loop and while loop. Okay.
Else.
Else.
Yes.
Even count plus equal to 1.
Okay. So you
Even
can print
count
both the
plus equal
outputs.
to 1.
మేడం
It
ఎల్స్
is-
ఇవ్వకపోయినా డైరెక్ట్ గా ఈవెన్ కౌంట్ కి వెళ్ళిపోతుంది కదా మేడం.
else ఇవ్వకపోతే every number will be added as even kada. If I do not put this
Okay,
else,
madam.
for every x
No madam,
this
out
will
of
be
the if statement.
out of if means,
length of numbers minus odd count చేయొచ్చు కదా.
yeah, that is also one logic. This is one logic. Program can be solved in several ways. That's the thing I'm saying from beginning kada.
Yes, ma'am.
Length. Okay. So now you might have understood. LEN of numbers అంటే అది 8 అని ఇచ్చేస్తుంది కదా, అదేం మ్యాజిక్ కాదు కదా. Someone have written this kind of program. Understood what I am saying? How to find length of a list?
Yes madam.
How to
For
find
X
length of a
numbers.
list?
Odd count plus even
For
count.
X numbers.
Here odd count for even count, but the simple logic is count is equal to
Count equal
Zero?
to 0. For
for
X
every number. For every
count
number,
plus equal to 1.
yeah.
Count plus equal to.
So this is the logic. When we are writing LEN outside, it is not magic. Python developer has written this kind of program, and that program we are using simply as LEN. Okay. Normal engineers కాకపోతే LEN length ఇస్తుంది అని తెలిస్తే చాలు. But how LEN is giving the number of elements as output, that we should know, because we are going to become engineers. Okay. So these are simple programs. Where are we? So they provide an easy way. For and in are used extremely useful. They provide an easy way to access a list. We'll simply use for a variable in sequence. You can do anything here. Print var or print x or print var %2. Anything you can do. Okay. So there are few more methods, easy to remember methods. Now finish chesthe baguntayi. So this is my L1, no. L1 dot sort sorts my list. Okay, if I see L1, see the L1 now, 6, 7, 200. Okay, if I want to reverse my list, are you able to observe the output?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now you should get lot of questions in your mind. What logic they might have used to sort it, what logic they might have used to find to reverse it, that kind of thing. Okay. And so this is my L1. You know, length of L1 gives the number of elements, length function. There is one more function called sum, which gives sum of all the elements in the list. It will work when the elements are homogeneous. If you have like this, it will scold you. Okay, because it cannot add integer and string. Okay, it will work on suitable compatible data types. And this is your L1. If you want to find a minimum element in your list, so there is a function called min. If you want to find maximum element in a list, there is a function called max. Here I am using the word function. Please make a note of it. Okay. So you have seen length function, sum function, min function, max function, and few methods also you have seen: append, extend, pop, remove, sort, reverse, count. Yeah. So whatever is left I'll cover in the tomorrow's class. But check your understanding. First question is the list mutable?
Yes, madam.
Yes,
True.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
True.
And please answer this second question in the chat.
40.
Chat. I want to see others' names too.
Chart.
The third question, a string and a list. What is 0 of 1? What is 1 of 3? First question, the sample list, the answer change, I'll see. Where is chart? 40. Sample list of -4 colon -1 anta.
40, 30, 20, man.
40, 30, 20, yeah.
20 to 40.
See, -4 to -1. This is -1. What is -4?
20 to 50, ma'am.
20, 30, 40. Last index will not come.
Okay, ma'am.
20,
Okay, ma'am.
30, 40. Okay. అమ్మా సో రేపు
Okay, ma'am.
లిస్ట్ టాపిక్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత క్విజ్లో అందరికీ మంచి మార్క్స్ రావాలి. ఓకే. లిస్ట్ ఆఫ్ 0 ఆఫ్ 1. వాట్ ఈస్ లిస్ట్ ఆఫ్ 0? రామాయణ ఆర్ లిస్ట్?
Ramayana, ma'am.
రామాయణ. ఓకే. రామాయణలో 1
Ramana
ఎంత?
is replacing with
0 ఆఫ్ 1 ఎంత? రామాయణలో 1 ఎంత?
A.
A.
So the first print will give A. What is the second outcome?
16.
12.
Oi.
16.
First
16.
always starts from 0
16.
చెప్తున్నాను. 16.
16.
Okay. Please
12.
please practice these laws. 16.
16, ma'am.
Yeah. Practice these as a lot.
Ma'am.
ఓకే. లిస్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేయండి, లిస్ట్ మెథడ్స్ వాడండి, లిస్ట్ ఫంక్షన్స్ వాడండి. ఓకే. ఇఫ్ యూ స్టిల్ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ ప్రాబ్లమ్ ప్లీజ్ రైజ్ దెమ్ టుమారో.